This is Bold TV, an entertainment program on disability and its related issues from a gender perspective. Join us every Saturday by 10:30 a.m. on our Facebook and YouTube channels. Bold TV, beautiful, outstanding ladies with disabilities. Brought to you by Bold Hearts Initiative.
Hello, beautiful people. How are you doing? It's another interesting episode on beautiful, outstanding ladies with disabilities television, Bold TV, brought to you by Bold Heart Network. It's yet another Saturday, 10:30 on your DOT time. And we are here, women with disabilities, to talk about issues as they affect and concern us in the society, in our immediate community, and the extended world at large. Today promises to be as exciting, informative, educative, and entertaining as usual. With me, your host Oluwatomisi Adeyefa. I'm a visually impaired woman. I'm a broadcast journalist who is based in Abeokuta, Ogun State. I'm also the executive director of Beyond Limit Initiative for Women and Girls with Disabilities. I'm an author, an award-winning author, if I might add. Okay, beautiful people. Welcome to the show. Welcome to this edition, where we shall be talking about the recent theme of the International Women's Day, Give to Gain. Returns on investment. You've heard about the word ROI, especially people who put their money in bonds, savings, banks, investments, capital investments, all those kind of financial stability. You hear things like ROI, returns on investment. So the topic today is give to gain, returns on returns on investment. We are going to be breaking it down, and I am not going to be doing it alone. I have my beautiful ladies. I'll just give them some couple of minutes to introduce themselves. We have a guest, and you'll get to meet her shortly on the show today.
Good morning, ladies, online audience, everybody out there, wherever you are, morning, afternoon, evening. I remain Osake Teresa George Victoria. I reside in Rivers State, on precisely. I'm a freelancer and disability advocate, a polio warrior. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you.
Good morning, all. I am Agatha Kuyet Paul, the Community Manager and Programs Coordinator with DAID Initiative. I'm also a spinal cord injury survivor. I mention this because it gives me a unique front row seat to the barriers we're discussing today. At DAID Initiative, we believe in giving to gain, and I'm a living proof of that. When society invests in accessibility and inclusion, it doesn't just help people, it unlocks professionals, leaders, and managers who are ready to drive our nation forward. I'm a professional dedicated to ensuring that when we talk about women's rights in Nigeria, we aren't leaving the 19 million of our sisters with disability behind. I'm sure to be here to discuss why inclusion is the smartest investment our nation can make. Pleasure.
Hi everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Bold TV, beautiful, outstanding ladies with disabilities television. It's always a pleasure to be part of every episode. My name is Freki Andresian. I'm the Executive Director of Fake Foundation, a non-profit organization that provides step gap support services to vulnerable individuals in society. I am also a public health professional. I identify as a woman with disability because I use a wheelchair from a spinal cord injury. I am based in Port Harcourt in River State, and again, very excited to be in this episode of Bold TV. Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you very much, ladies, for turning up as usual, and welcome Agatha to Bold TV. We'll hope you'll have a swell time with us and you will get to see you share your experience with us in coming episodes. Welcome once again. And to our viewers, thank you for joining us on Facebook, on YouTube, wherever it is you are watching at this time. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love, and we want to encourage you to continue to support us right here on Bold Heart Network, Bold TV. Keep liking, commenting, sharing our videos, and if you would like to reach out to us one way or the other, you can reach out to any of the hosts or co-hosts on the show. Myself, Reki, Osaki, Florence, Oge Passion, and Afyong. You can reach out to any one of us, and then we will take it up from there. Like I said earlier, our topic is give to gain, returns on investment. So, ladies, over to you. What do you understand? I mean, when that theme was rolled out, I remember last year we had invest. I think 2 years ago too, we still had invest, something like that, But this year we're having give to gain. What does it mean to you when you heard that theme for the International Women's Day, as we celebrate women all over the world, including women with disabilities, as we talk about issues that affect us as the female gender? What does it mean to you? What comes to your mind? What is your understanding of the theme, give to gain?
Thank you very much, Tommy. See, okay, the concept of give to gain. I think I like that concept. It's natural. Okay, I'll begin from it's creating values for others, and at the same time you benefit from that value you created. It's a cycle. I'll take a typical example of parents. After raising their child, take that responsibility to take care of a child, and during old age the child comes back to take care of the parents, as they give, and now they are gaining from what they gave. And also I remember when I was a child, not a child, I was done with university, and I was living with an aunt, and she accepted me very well. So to her, she was like, what will this person do for me? But I shocked her. In the morning, I wake up so early, I'll buy water for the children, I'll make their breakfast. She was like, wow, you could do all of that. And that made her have like a longer sleep. She was happy. So she gave by allowing me to stay with her. And at the end of the day, I gave back by she relaxing more on bed and the children go to school early. So thank you for that, Christy.
What do I understand by the concept giving to gain? In simple terms, give to gain is the opposite of charity. When you say charity, that is when you give a person fish just so they don't go hungry today. Investment, in the other hand, is when you give them a net, a boat, and access to the water. When we give by creating accessible schools and workplaces, we gain a person who contributes to the economy instead of someone who has to depend on it. It's a circle. When you invest in a woman's potential, the entire community gains from her success. It's moving from handout to hand up. What can I say?
Wow, amazing insights by the ladies. Thomasin, thank you so much for this question. So, what do I understand by the concept give to gain? Remember the give to gain. Well, give to gain, which is the theme of the International Women's Day 2026, is a principle that is rooted in both social development and economic theory. It speaks to being intentional about investment of not just finances, but investment of time, resources, opportunity, and trust, with an expectation of measurable, sometimes intangible returns over time. Now, from the development perspective, it aligns with concepts like human capital, investment, and social return on investment. Meaning, when you invest in people, especially vulnerable persons like women with disabilities, you are not just engaging in charity. Rather, you are unlocking productivity, innovation, and resilience. The woman with disability is already very resilient. Now, on a human level, it is about shifting from a mindset of scarcity to one of shared value creation. A society that gives access, inclusion, and dignity to everyone, because we understand that we will gain productive and just systems that allow everyone to thrive. Everyone is involved in this principle of give to gain, even women with disabilities. This theme for the International Women's Day, Give to Gain, actually reminds me of one of the invaluable laws of growth, one of the 15 invaluable laws of growth by John Maxwell, specifically the law of trade-offs. The law of trade-offs, focuses on reciprocity, where you reciprocate, and also focuses on the power of collaboration. We do not live in silos. No man is an island. No woman is an island. We live in a world where we must understand that the law of harvest is real, where you sow and reap. The law of giving, the principle of giving is real. The principle of investment is real. And we're bringing that into the social development space and the human space, not just focusing on economic, because if you immediately somebody hears giving, you think about finances. Immediately you hear gaining, you think about return on investment. But we are speaking to it on a broader, note, thinking about it in the space of social development, speaking about it in space of human resources and capital, thinking about it in investing in time, resources, to be able to build resilience. And because give to gain is not just about investing money and things like that. No. Think about the spectrum of resources: material resource, human resource, even financial resources. So I really like the theme for this year's International Women's Day, because it's a reminder that we are interconnected, that we must collaborate, that there must be the mindset that shifts from focusing heavily on charity, but enabling and empowering everyone to thrive in the world and in our society. So that's my take on Give to Gain. Thank you.
And thank you very much, ladies, for that well-detailed explanation of what Give to Gain meant to you. And I particularly like Agatha's illustration of the fish. There's this popular conversation that we had that don't give me fish, teach me, let me know, show me how to actually catch the fish so that I can become a fisherman or a fisherwoman myself. We've talked about how Give to Gain takes us away from charity. It takes us away from a pity party. It boils down to the fact that when you are being invested in as an individual, as a woman with disabilities, you definitely be able to gain something. It's like putting your money in some kind of bonds. Maybe you're buying the federal government bonds, or a particular company, maybe an oil company is selling its shares. You are investing. You're giving them something. You're giving them your money to hold in trust that you will get dividends, you get returns on your investment. So, ladies, to my next question. As a woman with a disability, how do you think the society around us, now the society would include the government, parents, families, friends, employers, the society, the community which we live in as women with disabilities, how do you think they can invest? They can actually give us something and then gain in return. Let's talk about the giving. What can be given to a woman with disability? Remember that we've said, this is not a matter of charity. It's not just about giving money. She needs to eat, give her food. She needs to drink, give her water. She needs this, give her, What are those tangible things that can be given, that can be invested upon in a woman with disabilities, and you are sure to get reward?
Very much, Thomas. I like this question. How can the society invest in me or in us as a woman with disability? There are lots of ways, but I will stress on it's not just the financial aspect alone. That one is good, though. Yes, it's good, but I will say by creating an opportunity for us to speak out, advocate for our rights, and also removing the obstacles on our way. There are a lot of things that are barriers that will not allow us to participate fully. One of the key sectors I will take is education and skill development. Let the education sector be inclusive. Like where I went to my primary school days, it was an inclusive education. mainly for persons with disability, you know. So the grounds were disability friendly. We could do everything. Even our teachers then knew. So there was no stereotypes, there was no discrimination, there was no stigmatization too, because we are kids. So they understood the concept. They were trained on how to tutor us as children, you know. So all of that is part of how the society can invest. And one quick one, in your own space, whether government or wherever, in your own space, when you see me walking and you think that you want to assist me, simple question is, can I help you? That can stand as investment. Also, just working with me, your time alone is also an investment. Thank you very much.
As a woman with disability, how can the society invest in us? Simple. Start up. Society invests in us by removing the staircases in our lives, both the physical ones and the mental ones. Physical investment, making sure that police stations, hospitals, and offices have ramps and sign language interpreters, etc. When we talk about digital investment, they need to provide tools like screen readers or inclusive tech so we can work from anywhere and everywhere. And lastly, my favorite, mental investment. They should stop assuming we can't and start asking, how can we help you do it? When you invest in our accessibility, you're literally unlocking our ability.
Well, thanks so much for this question. As a woman with disability, how can society invest in us? Honestly, this is very important because sometimes we must guide. Society can invest with women with disabilities through intentional inclusion across different systems. Osaki and my guests Agatha have talked about some. They've talked about education. Well, let me speak about something like healthcare. Disability responsive healthcare that understands the interaction of gender and disability is really crucial. Another one is economic empowerment, access to decent work, entrepreneurship opportunities, and financial inclusion. One other way is through assistive technology, because provision of tools that can enhance our independence and productivity is key. One other way is policy and representation across sectors, economic sectors, political sectors, private sector, government. Representation across sectors is very crucial. Make space, give room. That's one of the ways society can do that. So technically, it's about mainstreaming disability and gender into development planning, and not just as charity, but ensuring that it's intentional, it's thought through, right? So when it is done right, it reduces systemic inequalities and it increases overall societal efficiency. Because you find women with disabilities who are less dependent, who are economically empowered, they are also leaders and they're able to do a lot. So investment must really move from welfare-based approaches to rights-based frameworks, where women with disabilities are seen as contributors, not just recipients, but also contributors to the GDP, contributors to societal advancement, contributors to social development, contributors to innovation, contributors to community, contributors to leadership. That women with disabilities are not designed to just be the receivers, but that we bring a lot of value to every space. So society really needs to be intentional about creating the space that allows women with disabilities to thrive across systems, across sectors, across these different sectors. They're just a few: education, health, economic, policy, representation. These are just a few. And you as an individual, do you know a woman with disability? You can. Let me just shock you. A simple, encouraging word is giving. Giving. A non-judgmental stare is giving. So there's a lot that we can do, even in our churches. Access. I know Agatha spoke about physical access. The ability to be able to enter a space is something of power. Because if you cannot access, if you cannot get through, you cannot access what is within. So physical access is also key. So these are the different ways that society can begin to give, so that women with disabilities, who are the most marginalized and known as most vulnerable in society, can begin to thrive, it has to be intentional. And it cannot be welfareists in totality. Understanding that a person with disability is a person first. A woman with disability is a woman first with fundamental human rights is a good place to start in our way of thinking and our perspectives when it comes with disability. Thank you.
Wow. Such an eye-opener right there. So viewers at home, our lovers, our friends out there, you've heard it all from the ladies. What more can I say? When you give a woman, there's this popular saying that I used to share with my friend. I said, if you give somebody an inch, they take the whole ruler. So when you give us an inch, by the virtue of the multiplying effect, it comes back like you can take the whole ruler. When you give liberty, be assured that you get stadium in return. So when you sow a seed, no matter how small, in a woman with disabilities, the ripple effect, and part of those things that the ladies have highlighted that you can give is opportunities, education, empowerment. Now, when we talk about empowerment, sustainable empowerment, because there are so many kinds of empowerment going out there that it doesn't match up with what the woman with a disability actually needs. It doesn't match up. You find them go from one empowerment program to another because they've not actually found that sustaining one, that one that is tailored to their needs, tailored to their peculiarities, tailored to their situation at that particular time. Education, a social net is also part of what you can give. You can invest in a woman with disabilities. Women with disabilities also have children, so health, maternal health, women's health, these are things that when a woman is empowered to identify these things, she's able to treat herself better, she's able to take more opportunities, she goes away from that dependency nature, she goes away from that nature that feels like she's a liability and cannot do so much for herself. Women with disabilities are strong individuals. They have got potentials, they've got talent, and so giving them the right environment to thrive will make a whole lot of difference. So my next question, ladies, thank you so much for those beautiful contributions so far. Now, as a woman with disability, a lot of times we want to be giving. All of us want to receive, want to collect. Hey, what can I gain? How can I collect? What can be given? We have talked about how the society can invest in us as women with disabilities. How else can we also reciprocate? There's this thing about he who that has been saved. Stand up, rise up for the saving of some other people, or of others, as the case may be. So as a woman with a disability now, you have been invested upon. How then can you reciprocate that investment? How then can you also ensure that the society around you does not continue to see you as a liability or as a charity? What is our own role in this thing of give to gain?
How can we also invest in society so we aren't just receiving all the time? This is a beautiful question, I must say. But the truth is, women with disabilities are some of the most resilient problem solvers you will ever meet. We invest in society through our, I would say, unique perspective. Because we navigate the world that is not built for us, we are naturally innovative. That's just the truth. We invest by being mentors to younger girls, by starting small businesses that employ others, and by advocating for policies that actually make life better for everyone. What do I mean? Not just people with disability. When a sidewalk has a ramp, it doesn't just help me as a person with disability. It helps a mother with a stroller, an elderly man with a cane. We invest by making the world more human for everyone.
Oh, a good way to flip the question. How can we, women with disabilities, also invest in society so we aren't just receiving all the time? I'd already said that women with disabilities were not designed to just be recipients, but we are also contributors. And the fact that we are already contributing and investing in society, often in ways that go unrecognized. So some of the ways that we can invest through work and entrepreneurship. Women with disabilities can be job creators, pay your taxes, and contribute to the economic growth of society. You are not a charity case. Another one is advocacy and leadership. One of the things that we do a lot is that we empower women with disabilities with the capacity to be able to speak up for themselves and their rights. One other way is that women with disabilities develop adaptive problem-solving skills that are invaluable in crisis responses and innovation. Whether you like it or not, we've been put in a space where we have to be really creative and innovative. Another way that women with disabilities can invest is by strengthening our communities through mentorship. We can volunteer, and we can also provide peer support systems to other women with disabilities. We also must consider the fact that we bring a lot of value to spaces, and we are to contribute to social systems. We are also supposed to contribute to development in wherever we find ourselves. So barriers must be removed, participation increased, and one of the ways you can do this, women, is that forget about opinions, really. Settle it within yourself that you have a lot to bring to the table. I think that's where it starts from, the mind. So just to let people know that women with disabilities have a lot to bring to the table. So let's do our part of creating the space. And then you, woman with disability, come into that space with your power to influence, power to contribute, because you are a resilient person, you are smart as well, and you are beautiful. You have a lot to bring. Be a lawful abiding citizen, pay your taxes, do the needful when it comes to legal frameworks in our society. But just note that women with disabilities bring a lot to the table. We are job creators, we are mothers, we thrive in every space. Just create that space. So one other way is celebrate your giving, right? Not just your gains. Women with disabilities celebrate your giving and not just your gains. Think about that. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you very much, ladies, for that beautiful contributions right there. So as a woman with disability, you also have a role to play. You also have impact to make. You also have things to contribute to ensure that the society is a better place for every one of us. Yes, we know that, when it comes to dependency, we need more, right? But out of that more that has been given to us, that has been invested in us as women with disabilities, we can also share. We can share our knowledge, we can share our resources, we can mentor, you can lift others up, you can strive to also create the kind of environment that you want to see, that you want to be in. And I pray that the good Lord will help us as we continue to give, to gain, and get some returns on our investment. So we're talking about returns on investment. ROI. So ladies, tell me, is it actually profitable to invest in a woman with a disability? After all, she's with a disability now. Well, why do you want to? Do you know that some people have that culture of, as a woman with disability, you are doing too much? You hear things like, why are you stressing yourself? So now that you have stressed yourself after all those you're doing too much, is it actually profitable? Do you have anything to gain? Does the society have anything to gain? I mean, the society that has provided you an enabling environment, for instance, has given you good health infrastructure, has given you education, has given you empowerment, has given you opportunities, has given you everything that you need. What then does this society stand to gain? I mean, what is their return on investment?
I like this question. There's actually a lot of returns when you invest in a woman with disability. A quick one is co-host of Bold TV. I'm sure we are doing pretty good. We are all returning our investment. People have invested in us. We are sharing our experience. All we had, we are pouring out there for someone to learn, get knowledge about women and girls with disability. So the coverage is wide. So it's not just us, but we are sharing our experience. People are there. And we're waiting from each other too. And I have the great co-host each week to share their experience and whatever they know, and also the different EDs I already know. Some are already in Bold TV and some are outside, but once in a while they come and give talk on Bold TV. I know of Madam Freki, she's doing so well in Feke. A lot is being done there in the state. I know of Madam Patience in Abuja, same well in our own NGO include Madam Lois in Cedar's organization and Network of Women with Disabilities. I know of Madam Grace Jerry on the Inclusive Friends Association. A lot is being given out as a return for women with disability. I know of also Oge Passion in supplements that she speak out on every now and then, and also the business she does around her. And I know of my host, Tomisi, in Popular Abilities. So what else do you expect from us? That's what I can really say about investing with women with disability, the returns you can get. So you can scroll down and see all our returns. Thank you.
Interesting. Are there actual returns on investing in a woman with a disability? Definitely. And absolutely. The return is economic resilience. There are millions of women with disability in Nigeria, like I mentioned, about 19 million. If even half of them are empowered to work or run businesses, imagine the boost to our GDP. So I'll say beyond money, there is the social return. For when a woman with disability succeeds, she breaks the cycle of poverty for herself, her family. She changes the mindset of her neighbors. You gain a stronger, a more inclusive Nigeria where talent is not wasted. The return on investment isn't just a line on some spreadsheet. It's a stronger, more stable nation. Definitely not a waste.
Oh, thanks for this last question. Are there actual returns on investing in a woman with a disability? Even you can answer that question. Absolutely. Absolutely and emphatically yes. And they are clear, measurable returns, both economically, socially, and otherwise. So let's look at the economic returns. Studies globally show that excluding persons with disabilities, including women with disabilities, can cost countries up to 3 to 7% of GDP. Inclusion, therefore, is not just ethical, it is an economic strategy. This is research. Workplace performance. We're talking about organizations that employ women with disabilities. They often report a higher retention rate. We know that work is scarce, so employers, we go there. We also ensure stronger team cohesion, and this is true. What about the multiplier effect? When you empower a woman with disability, the impact extends beyond her to families and communities, improving education, health, economic stability, even for others. How about social returns? I've talked about the issue of dependency. It reduces dependency ratios, allows for stronger civic and social participation, and better systems. This is where social return on investment is important. Investing in women with disabilities yields beyond, is not linear, it's multi-dimensional in returns, and it goes beyond immediate financial profit. In simple terms, when you invest in a woman with a disability, you are not just changing one life. That's what people think. It's not about that woman. You are just not empowering only her. You are strengthening an entire system. You are strengthening generations, present and future. That's what we're talking about. So, give to gain. It's not about charity. That would just be a limited mindset. It is about strategy. Hey, clock it. So, when we invest in women with disabilities, society does not lose resources. Rather, it multiplies them. It multiplies them. Think on these things. Thank you.
Wow, so much to gain as returns on investment. So, like I said earlier on the show, when you give a woman, just a woman, an inch, be sure that you are taking care of a whole generation, because that woman would in turn take care of her children, who would in turn take care of their children, who will return take care of their own children, and the cycle just goes on like that, because one woman has been given an opportunity to thrive. You know, and when it comes to employment too, I feel like more productivity lies in a woman with disability, because we have less distractions. We have it at the back of our mind that we do not want to fall short. than the standard. We don't want you to look down on us. We don't want you to think because of our disability we are incapable. And so we tend to do more, thereby increasing productivity, So it means that when you give an opportunity, when you give the woman with disability the space to grow, to thrive, she does so and she blossoms beautifully. She comes forth with her fruits in its season. Some Bible in me right here today on the show. And I want to use this opportunity to say thank you to all my amazing women who were on the show today. Thank you. Yes, I mean, Bold TV is also a kind of gift again. If you ask me, we give you education, information that you can use. We give you useful information that you can use. And so, what do we stand to gain in return as Bold TV from Bold Heart Network? We stand to gain more empowered women, more informed women, more women who can actually speak and be heard. And so, that is an example of you also contributing to the society as a woman with disability or as a society in its entirety. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you, Agatha. Thank you, Freki. Thank you, Oge. Thank you, Osaki, for being on the program, and every other lady on Bold TV who is not here today. Thank you so much for all the support and everything that you ladies do. You rock. And so on this episode, I remain your host, Oluwatomisin Adeyefa, and I urge you to stay with us again next week Saturday, when we bring to you another interesting episode on Bold TV, brought to you by Bold Heart Network. If you'd like to speak with us, go through any of our channels as displayed on the screen, reach out to any of the co-hosts on the show, and we will gladly give you the much needed attention. Agatha, we hope you join us again on another episode. Thank you for showing up today. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, to all our viewers out there, as we continue to celebrate in the theme of the International Women's Day, do not write off any woman with disability. Let's work together to ensure that the society, the environment is conducive and accommodating and reasonable enough for her to thrive and watch her grow into something you can never, ever, ever imagine. I am Oluwatomisin Adeyefa once again, and I say to you on this episode, on behalf of my ladies, bye-bye.